Are you hungry for more? You know what life has to offer. You sense it is radiating magic, but perhaps you feel like you're just not fully nourished by all there is to embody. Well, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Here and now. Just what the doctor ordered. Welcome to the conversation, Well and Why, where we feast on fuel for the soul. These topics are designed to ignite that fire and maximize our human potential. Together, we can heal the system. Alone, we can heal our bloodline. Bon appetit! Welcome back to Well and Why, a spiritually nutritious production. I am your host, Allie, and this week's episode is with a friend, Sheikh Pryzby. He's actually a member in the co-working space building that I manage, which is pretty neat. And I have to say, in advance that you will... This episode makes it pretty clear that I don't necessarily love the concept of being employed myself. But there are definitely perks to being employed, and I would like to make that clear. I'm not just saying I'm grateful that I have a job, because not only am I really fucking grateful that my job pays the bills, but I'm really grateful that I get to be learning on somebody else's dime. Yes, I mean, it's my time, but I'm learning new things, I'm meeting people, I'm growing, hopefully, and I think there's a lot to be said for being employed, absolutely. And the fact that I get to meet some really cool people like this guy that you're about to hear is really awesome. So a lot of topics that we go over, or to name a few, are how people would tell him that he can't do what he's doing right now for a living, which is trading stocks. And that's actually what sparked his fire. I want to know if anybody else can relate when people tell you you can't do something and you're like, hell yeah, now I'm going to go do it. Thanks, but no thanks. We also talk about the parallels between trading stocks and wellness, becoming self-employed, mentorship and community, how to take advantage of mentors and paying it forward, and his tricks for success at such a young age, because he's a year older than me and killing it. But let me tell you, his secret was not overnight success. But I really hope you enjoy this episode as much as we enjoyed creating it together. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let us both know what you think. Reach out to him if you're interested in what he does. It's pretty damn fascinating. I couldn't do it, but we figure that out on the call. So enjoy. Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for joining me today here on Well and Why.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Pumped.
Yes, me too. So you're currently a co-working space tenant of mine for the company that I work for, and your dog Nugget is one of my most beautiful furry friends in the building. So thank you for sharing her with us.
My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. She's a joy to everyone.
Oh my gosh, she's such a joy. I love her
She
so
really
much.
is. She's a handful.
Yeah, I'll miss her when you go.
Yeah, I can imagine. She brings joy.
She does. Cool. So let's get into it. So basically, I didn't even realize until today that your business has an Instagram and it has 88.1 thousand followers.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, I don't really publicize it too much, but me and my partner have been doing the social media thing pretty well the last few years.
Amazing. Is that a business partner?
Yes, he's my business partner. So our business is called Trading Experts. The gist of what we do is really teach people how to trade stocks on the most basic level. And then as you kind of progress with us, we get more detailed. And we have kind of levels to our membership, different groups and stuff. Then once you get to the highest level, we're kind of trading together every single day.
Wow. Yeah, you have 6 screens over there.
Yeah, it could be like looking into the Matrix sometimes.
Oh my goodness, I can't imagine. And it just looks like huge waveforms, right?
What do you mean huge waveforms?
Like audio waveforms. It kind of looks like that when you're looking at those computers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not to me anymore, but it's all stock charts and all that mess.
Right. So
So
you're like, no, it
yeah,
makes sense to me.
I don't know. If I didn't know what was going on, I'm sure I'd think it looked like wave charts. I don't even know what the hell a wave chart is.
That's so funny. I mean, I'm just thinking from an audio perspective, it just looks like
Oh, right,
waves of
right.
energy or
Yeah,
something.
tough radio. Just trying to describe these screens.
Yeah, it's definitely intense. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
So I was wondering if so I was just gonna ask you if you could tell us a little bit more about what you do for a living, but that was pretty much the gist of it, right?
I mean, in the most simple sense, that's what we do.
Cool. What is your why?
What is my why?
Yeah.
So, me and my partner, we met, let's say 6 or 7 years ago at a trading firm. And we had different goals in life, and this is why our business works out so well. I'm like the hardcore trader where I'm just, I have the 6 screens. I'm trading a lot of stock on a really short term basis. It's really risky, stuff like that. And he is more of the long term investor. He has a job with Morgan Stanley. He does wealth management, all that stuff. But when we initially met 6 years ago, we were working at a trading firm, and everyone was trading like I do, and we just saw tons and tons of guys losing all their money. They didn't really have any direction. They didn't really care about any of the traders. So me and my partner, after a few years, and we built our own capital up so that we didn't really need the firm, we kind of wanted to just help the average trader out. And that's really how it all got started. We saw so many people failing, and we thought we could be such a benefit to the community. And that's really where it all began. And then we just kind of ran with it.
Wow. That's really, really neat. So you were what, like on Wall Street or something?
Yeah, we were working at a trading firm on Wall Street, and it was a prop trading firm, which means you're risking your own money. So it's really risky, and they say between 90 and 99% of the people fail.
What?
So what we do, I know it's crazy, and people still do it. And I mean, I was one of the crazy guys that did it. But I mean, I'm fortunate enough to make it through, and I'm still trading to this day. But but what we're most proud of is that we teach people how to trade the right way with, where they're not losing their money. And we've never had a person lose their capital account. And so where the 90 to 99% fail, we've never had a member do that. And we've had over 1,000 members at this point throughout our history. So that's one of the things we're really proud of is that, we really teach people how to do things the right way and think for the long term and such.
Wow. That's incredible. So you have like an online mentorship or something?
Exactly. So we have all these different. We started out and we kind of fast track you through the learning process through handbooks. So we initially, when we first started, we were getting asked the same question 1,000 times a day. So it kind of sparked the idea of, okay, how can we solve this problem? Let's make handbooks on all the different questions that we ask all the time. So that kind of became our thing, and now we have like 14 or 15 handbooks. But now, in order to get to, I was mentioning before, there's the different levels of our membership, and the highest one is the Alpha Chat. That's the membership. That's where all the professional traders are trading. So you have to do about 6 handbooks just to get there. So people are paying for our membership for a few months at a time, and they're not even getting the best part of our service. So we don't even want people who aren't going to make it that far. We want the dedicated trader who really wants to work that hard and make it all the way, and kind of think of this as a long-term goal instead of just like a get-rich-quick scheme, which many people think trading is.
Right. So do you think you and your partner work so well because you're opposite ends of the spectrum? You're risky and short-term, and he's more long-term minded?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's not even really that. If you met us, you could just tell. I mean, we're the same in that, we're very outgoing, we like to have a good time, stuff like that. But just our interests beyond that, it's like, it's so funny. We're complete opposites where, he doesn't like sports at all. I'm obsessed with sports. He loves cars. I couldn't care less. So it's funny how it works out. I mean, obviously we're both pretty type A and aggressive people to be, starting a business on our own and doing that. But as far as the getting down to the nature of our personality, we're complete opposites. And it really helps us grow because there's so many things that he will see and he will do that I would never think of, and vice versa. And, it's really important to have that dynamic when growing a business is what we've learned.
Definitely. Neat. So where did your interest in what you're doing now come from originally? Like, did you go to college for that? Why did you do that?
Absolutely. So I'll be honest, back when I was choosing high school and college, I didn't really have much direction. I let sports completely dictate everything. I was a football player in high school, and I eventually played in college. And my father kind of directed me to the finance world. He's like, well, you don't know what you want to do. You learn how finance works. You'll probably make some money. So that's actually how I got into the finance world. It's really funny to think about now with how embedded I am into it. But no, and I used football to get me into a better college that I probably couldn't have gotten into. I went to Bentley University in Massachusetts. And so coming out of the finance world, there's a certain kind of road that you take usually, and it's not delightful at all. You have to do horrible jobs. You have to become a Microsoft Excel monkey, to really get anywhere for the first 2, 3, 4 years. I just knew that wasn't for me. So I took a risk on myself, and that's how I ended up at the prop trading firm, saying I'll give myself a few years at this. Either I'll make it or I won't, but I won't feel like I'm absolutely wasting my time. And I'm so motivated to do this thing. And so many people are telling me I can't do it, which motivates me even more. So I kind of had to take a risk and not go the traditional route, if you will. And it actually led me to a lot of successes that I wouldn't have had I not taken these risks.
Absolutely. And what do you think that was besides people telling you can't? Do you think it was just like an inner trust that you could?
Yeah, I mean, there's something about my inherent nature. It's that, if you tell me I can't do something, that's going to make me want to do it so much more. I mean, I'm sure I'm not alone in that.
Right.
And I really loved, I took a bunch of interviews. I stepped foot on the trading floor. And if you've ever been on a trading floor, it's a ton of energy. It's not like a normal, office setting.
Uh-huh.
There's so much energy. People are screaming, yelling about different ideas. It's very, the trading floors I've been on are very like masculine and things of that nature. It reminded me of being on a sports field.
Oh.
So immediately I went on these interviews, and I felt I could fit in right away, and I could use skills that have led me in previous sports teams, leadership roles, things like that. I could use those skills to get ahead. So I just saw it being a natural fit, actually.
Wow. I love that when people connect two different things that are so opposing, finance and football, I would never put those two together at all.
Right.
And for you to have been able to acknowledge that at the time,
right,
is amazing.
And you have to give a little bit of luck. There's always a little luck involved in success. So I'll definitely mention that. Had I started off in 2018 or 2019, let's say, this year has been, even though the market's risen, I don't know if you follow it, but there are easy years trading and there are difficult years trading. My first year trading was a very difficult year. I didn't do so well. And then my second year was an easier year, if you will. And that's where I really made enough money to go off on my own. So if I didn't, who's to say if it was a down year in the market, I would be, sitting with you today. So I have to attest a little bit of luck that was on my side in the market in that second year.
Right. Luck is such an interesting word. It's like, was it luck or was it your determination to make it happen, and even though people are still successful at times that are not so great. I'm sure in 2008, there were some successful people. They were just really determined.
True. Very true.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it's just everything together with the fact maybe the reason you trusted so much was because this was your path regardless of your external circumstances.
That's a great way to look at it. I like your version a lot better than mine. But, these are things, who knows?
Right.
You just kind of got to put your best foot forward, trust your inner gut, and move forward. And that's kind of what I've always used to lead me.
Yes, I love it. So did you have any kind of mentor, or you just learned on the job and figured it out from failure?
So absolutely, I did have a mentor, and they changed often, but then I had one stable mentor. Now the way the trading floor works is you quote unquote pay it forward. So when you're a new guy, it's on you to just ask the older guys questions. And I was the guy who was just berating these guys with questions. They thought I was the most annoying little kid out of college. But, I knew that's the only way I could get this knowledge. So I just kept asking. And finally, there were different levels to desks where it's like, the first level was the really bad traders, the new guys. They called that the mook desk. It's like, well, everyone's mooks, I swear. And then, there are levels, so you moved up. So I just kept asking, and I kept moving up desks. And finally, they put me next to this one guy who was just an absolute animal. And I sat next to him for 2 or 3 years, and he put me under his wing. This guy, Chris Scher, I'll never forget him. He really taught me how to trade, and gave me all of his best attributes. I learned off him so well. So if I never really had him and that opportunity to sit next to him and ask him questions every day, I definitely wouldn't be where I am. So I think the mentorship part of trading, and that is where we initially kind of got the idea to do the mentorship. So the people who work for us are salesmen and such. They're more mentors because they're going to mentor the younger guys, and the younger guys are eventually going to pay it forward to the new younger guys. And it's kind of this cycle that just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I mean, every industry should have that, if you ask me.
It is actually a beautiful thing. I never really thought about it till now.
I know. I see you thinking.
I'm contemplating it out loud. Shit.
That's so funny. Yes, I actually, there are programs like, I don't want to say like that, but I know that there are online courses, for instance, for social media and how to build skills in social media, and to like you pay to learn, essentially to learn like marketing online. And so you're paying this program, but you're learning in return, and then you start mentoring other people and you get higher up, but you can also make money from like signing up businesses to do their social media or something like that.
Yeah, are you talking about multi-level marketing?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing where it's like,
okay.
I believe that's kind of like, because you're talking about when you have more people under you, then you're going to do more because they're selling more and stuff like that.
I guess so. I don't know if it has to do with like people under you, like all the juices and shakes and stuff. I know I guess I really don't know the situation well enough to talk about it.
Talk carefully about this stuff because there's so many frauds and so many people just scamming in my industry. Yeah. So we've really gotten ahead by being just very authentic. That's our competitive advantage. Just we're completely and wholly us all the time.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. For somebody looking to get into what you're doing, obviously they can come join you guys, but is there something that they should stay away from if they see something? Like, how would you know that there's something inauthentic about what you're doing?
I mean, if anyone promises you're going to make X amount of money, or you're guaranteed this type of return, that's the first red flag I see. Yeah. Or if someone says, give me your money, give me $800, I'll turn it into $4,000. Like, if there's any guarantees, then right away you know that there's some sort of scam involved, because in the financial markets there's really no guarantees. As I was saying before, with the failure rate of the trading firm, I saw hundreds and hundreds of guys come in and out within months. So any type of guarantees, I would say, are the biggest red flag to look for. Besides, what we're guarantees, we'll guarantee that you'll know what to look for. You will cut your time down in searching. You're going to work more efficiently and effectively because you know actually what's going on.
Yeah, and you have the mentorship, which is great.
Right.
I love that aspect so much. Neat. All right. So how long have you been self-employed since working on Wall Street?
So I guess I'm going on my third year full time. Wow. I was at the trading firm for 3.5, 4 years about. And then once I finally got that capital up, I could finally leave on my own and fill my own account. The way it works is you give them a small amount of money, trading firms, and you're allowed to trade their large amounts of money. Now, it sounds very glamorous, but what that really does is that usually hastens up people's failure rate, because I put $7,500 into account, but I could trade with $500,000 worth of stock. So I'm going to buy a lot of stock and I'm going to lose money more quickly because I don't really know what I'm doing, and I have all this money to trade. So it's kind of a recipe for disaster the way they do it. So what we really preach is the long-term game, the long-term aspect of it. It doesn't really matter what you're starting off with, because what you should be doing is taking a long-term horizon. What are you going to be looking at in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years? So that's kind of what we really preach, is to take the long-term approach in looking at this stuff, because everyone wants to become a millionaire in a year, and it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So we really preach, if you had $1,000 to start, you say, everyone says, how much money do I need to start? $1,000 is fine, and you just keep building, you keep adding to it slowly. You do automatic deposits into your account, things like that, and just play the long game and build slowly. And eventually, that pace picks up on how it builds.
Amazing. Okay. So it's obviously a really risky industry, but does
Right.
a lot of the risk have to do with daily political decisions?
Oh, I mean, right now what we're going through is an absolute disaster with U.S. and China and Trump and President Xi and this trade war. It causes our day to day to be really difficult because the stock market becomes so headline driven, just like you said.
Mm.
So yes, in this current political climate, it's increasingly difficult to navigate the stock markets because of that political risk.
So you have to keep up on the news like
Oh
every day.
God, like every fucking Trump tweet is breaking news to the stock market. It's awful. It's so awful.
Whoa. All right, guys,
Yeah.
if you want to get into this, you need to want to be engrossed in politics.
Oh yeah. Well, well. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Not engrossed in politics.
Okay.
What I do and what we do, I don't have an opinion. I have my own personal opinion, but I'm not going to share it with the world because that doesn't matter. We always have to. Our jobs as traders is to take information, whatever Trump is saying, and say what's going to happen from that. How can we profit from that? What's that going to affect? So, for example, there's the new tariffs on the trade war. That's heavily going to affect Apple and the iPhone. It could be, with the 25% tariffs, they'll be losing 25% of their profit. So it would only make sense that their stock is going to go down off that news. So I hear that news. That's kind of the way my brain shifts. Not my brain doesn't think like, oh, should he have said that or shouldn't he have said that? It's what's going to be the outcome of him saying this.
Right. Wow.
You kind of have to be hardened a little bit. You can't be emotional about the news.
Right. And you have to think on such a massive scale.
Absolutely.
So in a situation like that, what would you do? Would you buy Apple right then and there, or you would try to get rid of some?
You could. I mean, so you can buy a stock if you want it to go up, or you could short it and make money when it goes down. And mathematically, theoretically, that would be the move to do. That's not as much my game. It's kind of just an example. I'm more of a buyer. So during these like really difficult times, I'll either kind of just step to the side and research for the better times, or research what the best stocks are for when the market turns around to the upside.
Mm.
But in that scenario, yeah, I could see shorting Apple would be the move.
Interesting. Wow, there's so much to the finance world.
It's very intricate.
It's scary.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about trading. It's like, you don't have to be a brainiac. You don't have to be the smartest guy in the world. And it's funny because when me and my partner, when we saw all these different, the trading firm, when we first started out, they kind of brought in all these different fields of classes. And one of them was when they brought in all these Ivy League guys, Harvard, Yale, and they actually were some of the worst traders I had ever met because everything had to be so logical. Everything had to make sense. Mm-hmm. And they had to figure everything out with an equation. The financial markets, they have emotions of their own. They're going to kind of act, they call it the wild pig. No one knows which direction it's going to run sometimes. So it doesn't take, it's not the smartest guy in the room at all times being the best trader. It's kind of who can process the information and the outcomes best.
Mm.
But it's funny because I did meet a lot of guys from those Ivy League schools, from much better schools, and I bet you they can do a lot better equations than I could. But when it came to trading and the emotional aspect, everything had to have a why, and sometimes there's just no why.
Oh, I would be so bad at that.
Right. The first question you ask is, "What is your why?" I was like,
"Oh no." No, thank you. People actually in college one time, this girl got really mad at me. A bunch of us were doing pulling an all-nighter before a final or something for psychology. And so I was, I need to understand things in order for it to make sense for me.
Right.
Like I need to understand all of it. So we were studying something and I'm like, well, why is it this? She's like, it doesn't matter. Just know it. She's just know that that's what it is. I'm like, I'm not going to know it if I don't understand why. Someone needs to help me.
So we'll have you stick to the podcast for now.
Yeah, this is a good spot for me here.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. So what was a pivotal moment in time that made you realize exactly what you wanted to do next for your career? Was it just from seeing guys needing mentorship?
Honestly, it wasn't. I mean, there are all those things, but really what it was for me, my father passed away from cancer a few years ago. That kind of just changed my outlook on everything. I had a few good years before that trading, and I was going through a little slump. He was getting pretty sick. It all kind of transpired really quickly, and my trading performance kind of followed his health, if you will. Where at the worst he was doing mentally, I wasn't performing well because I had all these other things in my mind and whatever. He finally passed, and I kind of sat down. I was like, is this something I really want to do forever? And then it kind of like awoke this beast inside me that was just like, this is what I have to do. Like, I have it in me to do this. There's no reason I can't do this. All these people are telling me that I can't, but I have found so much success so far. Why can't I be the one to, be this successful in this field when no one else is? And I'd say that was really the pivotal point, as shitty as it sounds. But I mean, that's kind of what you need to grow. You need those shitty times.
Yeah, I think a lot of the pivotal points are those biggest unfortunate situations.
Right. And you really find out who you are during those times. Are you going to fold, or are you going to, put in the work?
Yeah. Wow. Sorry.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to
drag
the pod down.
No, not at all. My last one was actually a whole story about this girl that lost her two parents in Sandy. So.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we're here to listen.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, is there something that you like to do in life that doesn't make you money, which one may deem as a hobby that relaxes you?
I mean, I'm trying so hard to get better at meditating. You got to show me some more tricks. But so a big part of trading is the psychological aspect, and it's fucking hard day in, day out to be so emotionally invested or whatever. So I've been getting into yoga and mindfulness and meditating, and it's really, really helped me lock in and focus a lot more and not be so emotional during the trading day and such.
Right, because I feel like if I were you in the trading world, like, I don't know, I'm a very emotional person and my body is affected very easily by things. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the constant rapid change and all the stress, and I feel like throughout the day it's changing so much too. Like, it's very, like you were saying, the floor is a high energy masculine feel, and I feel like a body could really easily speed up, and your heart rate could be going faster than it should.
Right. And the whole goal of trading is not to be emotionless, to be a robot. And that's the most difficult part. That's why so many people fail, because they make decisions based on emotions, and you never want to do that. Trading, the first thing we teach is for someone to have a game plan. If it crosses this price, I'm going to buy it. And if it crosses this price, I'm going to sell it, and whatever, you have a game plan. So you want to stick to your game plan. Otherwise, if you're doing the emotional things, that's where you really kill yourself. Because you make a bad decision. And the thing about trading is that every decision you make at the end of the day, it's logged on a chart. So you know exactly where you went wrong. It shows you. So if you're emotional, it's just like that. Taking the emotional losses is so much more painful, because you say, oh, I'm so stupid. I should have done X, Y, and Z if I just didn't do this. So keeping your head in the game is probably the most difficult aspect.
Yeah. Absolutely, because we're not robots. How can you live like that?
We are not. And it's funny. It does take years to develop that, emotional hardness. And I just lost $3,000 in 5 minutes. Now I got to focus for the rest of the day and train these people. I don't want to do that at all, but that's part of the game. But you have to. So many people want to come in and be great, but it's the psychological aspect that takes the most time to develop.
Definitely. How many? I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about here. How many things do you have in your portfolio at a time?
It varies. It varies depending on the market. Right now, since the market's come down 6% in the last 3 days, it's the first sell-off we've had in a few months. So right now I'm extremely light. I only have 4 or 5 names that I'm trading very light. But when the market's really booming, I'm going to be in 20 to 25 different names at one time.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it can be difficult to manage at times. But again, it's, all comes with the experience.
Yeah. All right. So what was life like for you as a kid? If you were to sum it all up briefly, where did you grow up? Do you have siblings? You went to college?
Oh, yeah. I grew up in Long Island. I moved from New Jersey to Long Island when I was 12 years old. I was always big into sports. I was an outgoing kid, had a lot of friends. I had a great childhood. I have an older brother. His name's Stevie. He still lives out in Long Island. He's building houses. What else is there to say?
Awesome. You were in New Jersey? Where?
Yeah, I was in Manalapan, New Jersey for the first 12 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I have a friend from there.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I can't say I disagree with this change of yours, but I know you're leaving us and moving to Colorado sometime soon. I'm curious about why you're making such a big leap from New York City to Colorado.
I mean, I want to give you all these elaborate reasons, but it's because of my dog.
Oh, she just wants nature.
She just needs to be outside. She's a hunting dog.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've been in New York City 6 or 7 years. I did the whole worked on Wall Street thing. I kind of, made my name around here. So I feel like, I've checked that off my bucket list. Yeah. It's always been a dream of mine to live near the mountains. And Denver was kind of the perfect place where I could still be in a city, but be around mountains with such close proximity. And then the added bonus that, I could bring my dog off leash hiking every day is, that's the cake on top. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a little jealous, I gotta say. That's amazing. That's so exciting. I'm really excited for you. So good luck there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. We're going to get into wellness a little bit here. So you did mention that you're just getting into yoga and mindfulness, but do you have some kind of wellness routine?
So it's not as much a routine. So I was telling you, I try to meditate. I set an alarm every day for noon. I don't know if you walk by my office sometimes. I'm sitting on my couch, Indian style. I try to meditate for 15 minutes at noon every day. I'm getting a little bit better. It's tough sometimes, but here's a rule I've always had is that if I lose money, if I'm losing money trading, I have to read at least 20 pages that day. That really gets my mind right and kind of resets me into. You kind of have to always have this, growth mentality and not just like growing accounts, which is why the wellness and mindfulness works so well, because you have to know that you're this forever evolving creature and you always have to be changing and getting better and adapting to different markets and such. So there's actually a lot more parallels than you'd think between wellness and trading.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's probably so beneficial for someone. Maybe that's why you're so successful, because you're in tune with that.
Well, I mean, I've only gotten much more in tune, I'd say, in the last year or two. And it's really because since the business has grown, I used to just be able to trade stocks. And if I had a bad day, I had a bad day. If I had a good day, it'd be great. But now we have 350 traders that, they need me. They need my opinion. They need to see what I'm looking at. I can't just have a bad day and take a day off anymore like I used to be able to. So it's like the scope of my job has grown so immensely that I need to be able to take on a lot more. I need to be able to handle a lot more stress. So right. You're right, the wellness and the meditation, and it's crazy to me what 15 minutes of meditation will do to you per day.
Absolutely. Have you thought about, or have you already thought about bringing wellness and mindfulness into your program?
We do have. One of the things I learned, I came from the trading firm I keep mentioning, and my main contention with them is that they never talked about trading psychology. They just kind of like, if you had a bad day, you had a bad day, good day, good day. But the psychological aspect is so important. So we actually did a handbook called the Trading Psychology Handbook, and that's one of the important levels you have to pass on your way up as you're kind of ascending to the alpha chat, which is the top. So I'd say we have incorporated some. I mean, I'm always trying to incorporate more because it's just so important. It's the difference maker between, success or not. Sometimes it's funny to me.
Yeah.
I wish I knew this stuff 6-7 years ago. Right.
But at least you're this young and you know it now. So.
Right. It's definitely a positive way to look at it.
Right. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Speaking of wellness, I know you have amazing energy to the point that I've literally never felt anything other than positivity from you. The only other wave of emotion I've seen is stress for printing a boarding pass right before a flight that you had very last minute. Truth, right?
It's a whole new level of stress. You can't buy that one.
It's totally understandable though. So that being said, what do you think most deeply contributes to your happiness and success?
That's a really good question. I really love seeing our guys, the young guys, progress. I get so much satisfaction of these guys who just, they come to me knowing nothing, and 3 months later they're so progressed. Being a trader and being an individual and independent trader, you're very self-motivated, I'd say. So where the first few years of my career, it's like I didn't really care what anyone else was doing. I worried about my numbers. I worried about my shit. I kept myself in check. And as I was saying before, there were so many failure rates. I got to a point where I stopped making friends at the trading firm because they wouldn't be there in a month. They wouldn't be there in 2 months. So it became a waste of my time.
Wow.
And I kind of enacted that mentality to initially launch Pad. But since then, since we've had the business and the trading and the training aspect, seeing other guys, younger guys progress is what really, motivates me so much. I love it.
That's amazing.
So it's funny how I've changed over the years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Is there a non-negotiable in your daily or weekly habits that you cannot live without?
As a luxury, as a leisure type thing?
Really just anything. It could even just be like taking Nugget for a walk because that makes you happy. Someday,
I would say that I want to be the good dog parent that says that. A lot of days I stick her in doggy daycare so that I don't have to deal with it. I wouldn't say I have anything dead set routine wise.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty flexible person. I can just kind of adapt.
It could even just be like a cup of coffee.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Then 6 times a day, I have this special time that I need to have coffee.
Done. That was easy.
Yeah.
That's funny. Do you sleep a lot?
No, I've never been a big sleeper. I could function on 6 hours of sleep my entire life if I needed to. Yeah, even if I do get a good night or I get into bed early, I'll beat my alarm by a couple hours and I'll just start getting up. And again, sometimes I feel like my job. You ever see the movie Groundhog Day where he keeps waking up and it's the same thing over and over?
No.
Okay, so premise of the movie, it's like the guy keeps waking up and it's Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm.
So in many different jobs, you'll have different days. Your day-to-day is going to be very different. You're going to have different conversations. For me, my job is almost like Groundhog Day where I'm just waking up. I hit the charts immediately. It's all stocks. It's kind of like I wake up a lot and I'm like, oh shit, what day is it? Because every day, every work day is just a continuation of the last.
Mm.
So it's funny in that regard where I'm always trying to process information. If I ever have downtime, and this is kind of one of the reasons I got into meditation, I have a lot of anxiety about not doing enough. If I'm ever just sitting, chilling, doing nothing, I'll have this internal struggle going on saying, you could be doing something right now. You could be reading a book. You could be talking to a member. You could be looking at charts. So that's where meditation has come in to help me kind of just chill and bring my levels down.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's what it's good for.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you use guided meditations or you just use silence?
No, I put on the Beats headphones and I go to what is it? They have the playlists on Tidal, like meditation playlists and all this stuff. And I just sit here Indian style on my little couch and just kind of zen out for 10 or 15 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you were mentioning that Colorado is it's something on your bucket list that you've always wanted to do. I could definitely relate to that. What are some other things on your bucket list that you haven't yet done? Because I know that you've done so many things and you've been to so many places.
Shit. I don't know. I wish I had a big bucket list. I roll with the punches. I kind of,
Yeah.
If I see something I want, I'll try to make it a quick trip or whatever. More of my goals are, this is kind of sounds shitty, but it's more account. Like I have goals where I want to see my account go and where we want to see our business go and the amount of members and stuff. So as far as bucket list, it's like I've been to a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go to some places. I'd like to go to Fiji one day, but I don't have a clear-cut bucket list of. That's a trash answer, huh? Sorry.
No, that's fine. Honestly, I'm just thinking if you were to reverse that question to me, I'm like, wait, I don't even necessarily know what I would say.
But, okay. So,
right.
What is your bucket list?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have a bunch of things, like definitely become self-employed and continue traveling and have like I guess you're pretty much like a location independent type of business, right?
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
I thought of one, by the way. This is something I've always wanted to do. It's not more of a bucket list. It's more of like a self kind of can I do it? It's something called, have you ever heard of Vipassana?
What was it?
Vipassana.
No, it keeps cutting out when you say it.
Oh, Vipassana, Vippasanna. It's a meditation thing.
Oh,
So I was reading this book called, what is it called? Was it Be Here Now?
okay.
I found it was Steve Jobs' favorite book. It's this whole book on meditation and about being here now. And it's funny because it tells the whole story through this guy doing tripping on all these different drugs, but like coming to these great revelations in India. Whatever. So again, Vipassana is a 10-day retreat in India where you don't speak the whole time. You live as like a Buddhist or a monk would. And for me, it scares the shit out of me. It scares the hell out of me. So I kind of made a goal once reading the book that was something I really wanted to accomplish once in life because I don't know if I could do it.
Wow, I love that. And see, that's a great answer and I love that you want to do it because it scares you because it's not something that you can see yourself easily doing. And I think it's those times where growth we spurt.
That's where it manifests right there when you leave your comfort zone.
Yeah, and I love that you seek those times and moments. I need to do more of that.
I'm so emotionally hardened, like by all the pain I take from the stock market. Like I gotta abuse myself to have any fun.
Hey, whatever works.
Whatever works.
That's funny. Is there something that you do that helps you through current challenges that you didn't have in your toolbox 5 years ago?
I mean, I'm gonna stop going with the meditation thing.
I was gonna say
15 times.
That happens every time.
Honestly, it's knowing what true preparation is like. Whereas I would, money can come and go quickly in the stock market. You could have a quick trade, 5-10 minutes or whatever, and you make money or you lose money. But that's not where the work is done. All my work is really done on Sunday. No one sees it in this green desk, but I'm in this green desk 8 hours every Sunday, like busting my ass. And I'd say the difference in the preparation of what I need to do on a weekly basis and creating consistency. I'd say that's the biggest change. Where it's like, all right, I don't want to do this shit, but I have to if I want to succeed.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, taking shortcuts is a silent killer.
Right. I love that answer. Yeah, this is my year of commitment. So I can,
Nice.
Yes, I can attest to the fact that committing to something and creating consistent habits this podcast wouldn't exist if commitment wasn't my word this year. I don't think.
Right. How many people do you meet with great ideas who never execute them? I feel like it's every other person I know has a great idea for something, but no one ever executes because no one wants to put in the consistent work that's necessary. Right.
And I agree to that to a certain extent because you remember I was going to start a company previously.
Shaka Box,
yeah.
Dude, yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so I just think like it's interesting because as excited as I was about it, I was really forcing it, because it was a pretty good idea. I really liked it. Other people liked it. And my whole life, Matt, I've been trying to come up with ideas, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm just one of those people. I'm like, before I die, I will innovate something. I don't care what it is, but...
Yeah, no, I like that idea a lot. I think you'll just logistically, it's a bit. It'll be really difficult, but I like the idea.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many subscription boxes out there. I know it's possible,
right.
But I also have this like limiting belief, and I don't feel so comfortable about putting something out there that's like really expensive, and it's almost hard to create something of such quality and have it be affordable. So
that's just something you got to get over.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, that's business.
Right. And maybe I will, but I don't know. So pretty much I felt like I didn't have like necessarily the skills for it. And I know that it was all these limiting beliefs, but all those limiting beliefs were holding me back.
Right.
And I was able to realize I feel like I'm forcing this rather than it like living inside of me and just coming out like podcasting kind of does is what it feels like for me. So when I realized, oh my gosh, no, Shakabox is not what I should be doing right now. It should be podcasting. It was like an easy, like a duh moment. Like, duh, this is where I should be spending my time. It's not about the money I'm going to make in the next couple of years. It's about the experience that I'm looking to have.
And kind of creating your own personal brand as well.
Right. And just seeing where life takes me from there, you know?
And you never know where life will take you, where maybe Chakra Box is something for you down the road as well. And you had that idea sparked, you just kind of didn't have the resources or the logistical, necessities to make it happen.
Totally. 100%. I think about that all the time. I mean, I still have the Instagram there, and I haven't like taken it off my thing, when I don't use it or play around on it at all, but every now and then it gets a like or a follow, and I'm like, what are these? Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny. But yeah, no, that's exactly it. I forget where I went on that tangent. But actually, before I ask you my last question, I've been intrigued, and I mean, we don't even have to go here if you don't want to, but when people that I have on here have a lover and a partner or something, I always want to know their love stories briefly. It doesn't even have to be that briefly, but I just like love, and you're a successful person, you're a great guy, and you just seem so happy with your girlfriend and your adorable pup, and I just want to know how it started.
I actually met my girlfriend in high school, believe it or not.
Wow.
And we had the horribly cheesy quarterback and cheerleader thing going on. I mean, and then we broke up during college. We went our separate ways. We grew on our own, and then after college, we reconnected, and we've kind of been together ever since.
Wow. So it wasn't like a harsh breakup. It was just like, this is what we should do kind of thing.
I mean, I don't know many good breakups, but it was very easy to reconnect. It was like we never missed a beat when we did get back together.
Wow. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
That's amazing. I don't put that past you at all. Like, that just makes so much sense.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, lastly, is there anything you wish we spoke about, something I didn't ask, or something intuitive that you would like to share with us?
Oh, man, not much comes to mind. Do you have any final questions or anything?
That's all I prepared. But
I would say the biggest lesson I've learned in creating my business, and because you said you wanted to become self-employed and all that stuff, it's just not really creating a schedule for yourself, but just continuously putting in the work and just never stopping and not taking the days off and just putting in always the extra effort. Talking to that extra person, networking that extra little bit. The real, as we were talking about, how change really comes when you're leaving your comfort zone. And that's something I found that has, skyrocketed my success rate. So, I mean, I feel like if anyone is out there and they're struggling or whatever it is, they just keep pushing through, make that extra little effort. And I think, you'll find you're a lot stronger than you anticipated.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, where I was going with before was with the podcasting was like the passion and the excitement was behind the podcasting, and I think a lot of people want to start something because they want to start something and not be employed anymore.
Right.
Because I mean, come on, like being employed sucks.
Being employed sucks. It does, yeah.
It really kind of sucks for a lot of people, and if you're employed by a company where your values and your visions and their missions align with yours and you're all aligned and stuff, that's incredible. That is ideal. And that's really hard to find.
It is. It definitely is.
And I can only speak for myself. Grateful as hell to have a job and be employed. So it's definitely like one of those necessary evils. Is that
catch-22s. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely grateful, but I think it's just passion. So it's interesting because you have such a fire behind your why and your passion and your path. And I think that's what we're all kind of looking to connect all those pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have passion behind what you're doing, how are you going to be able to consistently put in that extra effort and do the shitty things that you don't want to do? You have to just love it to really, or kind of love your mission. To really, to keep that fire.
Right, because it's an energy and it's exhausting to be forcing anything. To force any kind of anything is literally exhausting.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You're not going to find the energy for the drive or the drive for the energy or whatever have you, but that's pretty much all I have here.
That was great. I enjoyed this so much.
Good. I enjoyed it so much.
I was nervous about this coming in. I was like, I have to have answers prepared and what's going to be going on. But it was fun. I had fun.
Good. Yeah, me too. Thank you so much, Matt. Is there where can we find you?
So the business is called Trading Experts. You can find us on Instagram at Trading Experts. We actually just released an app on the Apple App Store under the same moniker, Trading Experts. That has all our handbooks and all the stories and stuff. So definitely go there to check us out.
Amazing. And what would somebody do if they wanted to sign up? Would they just click a link in your Instagram or something?
There, you can just DM our Instagram and say, "What's up?" or "How do I join?" We have a group chat called Getting Started for everyone. So many people contact us. It was like, I have no idea how to get started. So we made a group chat and a handbook called Getting Started. So that's where everyone kind of starts. And if you know absolutely nothing about the market, we can show you the path.
I love it. Well, thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for coming on here. Really, it was so much fun.
Thanks for asking. This was a blast.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. And I'll see you soon.
All right, see you soon.
Well, that is a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in again, as always, to Well and Why, a spiritually nutritious production. Please feel free to reach out to me or to Shake and let us know what you think about the episode or the conversation. Let us know what your biggest takeaway was, or if you have any feedback. That would be so super highly appreciated. Speaking of feedback, let me tell you about this giveaway challenge that I'm doing, and the end date is going to be Saturday night, May 18th, 2019, because this episode's being released on the 16th. I know it's really not that much time. I don't know. It all happened very last minute last weekend, and I didn't really know what kind of time limit to put on it. So it's the 18th, all right? And if you do these 3 things, you are entering for a chance to win a free wellness box full of goodies from me. In this episode, we actually talked about how I was going to start a subscription box business, so I think I'm pretty well equipped with the knowledge to curate a fucking fabulous box, if I do say so myself. Okay, so the 3 things are you ready? The first one is a big one. Listen to an episode of Well and Why. You've already done that. If you're here, if you're listening, you are 1/3 already a contestant. Okay, great. Number 2, like and comment your biggest takeaway on that episode's audiogram in my feed. So essentially, if you go to my Spiritually Nutritious Instagram page, you will see pictures of random people. Not random, they're not random to this podcast, but pictures that aren't of me. And there's a little video in the top. It looks like it would be a video if you open it up, but really the only thing that's a video like is the audio waveform that's moving with their voice. So go onto that, like and comment your biggest takeaway on that episode's audiogram. All right. Number 3 is to go onto iTunes, write a review for me, please. Preferably 5 stars. If not, just reach out to me in person. I would love any and all feedback, seriously. And in your iTunes review, please include your Instagram handle, because I think that would be really helpful for me to connect that it's for this contest and connect the 2 platforms. I don't think everybody has the same name on iTunes and Instagram. Probably not, actually, right? I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I'm asking from you. Those 3 things, I'm going to repeat them one more time. Listen to an episode. Done. Boom. Number 2, like and comment your biggest takeaway on that episode's audiogram on my Instagram feed. Number 3, go into iTunes, write a review, and please include your Instagram handle. And there you have it. Then I'm going to pick a winner, and someone's going to receive an amazing box of self-love. Yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please feel free to come back at any time. Okay? Ta-ta for now.